just to introduce myself, I'm Nicola Mann. I am, for the day job, an acting director of people for Brentwood Borough Council and Rochford District Council, and I'm also a board member for PPMA. So I'm the host for today, and I'm really pleased to introduce Carola Becker, who will be speaking all things positive about our gut health and how it's going to improve our physical and mental health. So she's got lots to get through. We've had a quick chat and I'm really looking forward to it. And just to kind of say that a few housekeeping things, keep on mute unless you're asking a question. The session is recorded, but only the speakers are shown. So any questions you've got, you might want to put in the chat box, because I know from speaking to Carola, there's lots to get through. We've got 30 minutes, and she really does want to kind of get as much as she can into that 30 minutes. So I think, you know, if you've got any questions, maybe stick them in the chat and then we'll keep an eye on them. We'll also have Carola's email at the end, so if there's anything specifically you want to ask but not in this forum, then feel free to give her an email. She's more than happy to respond. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Carola so she can crack on with her presentation.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Nicola. And I usually try to say hello to everybody in the room, but it is quite busy today. I heard earlier we had actually 87 people registered for our event today, and I'm super excited about that. Thank you so much. You're giving me a really nice, warm, fuzzy feeling at the beginning of this year. So thank you for joining me. Let me just quickly share my screen, and then I'll give you a couple of insights. Nicola, can you just give me a thumbs up that you can see everything? Okay, brilliant. Thank you. Right. Whoa, gut health today. As Nicola said, you may have some questions. Please just use it. Use the chat box. Talk to us, and we're making time at the end. If you can stay on for a minute or two longer, I try to reply to as many questions as possible. But as Nicola just said, there will be my email address, and of course you can send me a question afterwards, even if, or especially if there's anything you not particularly comfortable to ask in front of a room of people. Okay, gut health today. Let's just quickly go. I am introducing myself. Hello, I'm Carola Becker. I may have met one or two of you at last year's PPMA event in Birmingham, where I had a live session. I'm a nutritionist, I'm a fitness instructor, and I run a workplace wellbeing consultancy. I work a lot with local councils. I have been working with Essex, with Somerset, and with a couple of others. And I really enjoy working with teams. And my focus has always been on mental health and brain performance, and how easy it is to support both with the best food and lifestyle strategies. In 2020, I actually ran a worldwide study about the topic. I work with organizations to help their teams being a little bit less stressed, a little bit happier, and a little bit healthier. I'm also a teacher on the world's biggest wellbeing app. It's free. It's called Insight Timer. If you would like to check it out, and you can find me there. All of my work is based on science, not on Google. And basically, I'm here to make this science work for you. Well, let's just crack on. Gut health has finally landed in people's awareness and on the front pages of the media, and rightly so. Gut health is one of my favorite topics, and I'll talk about it a lot. This is usually a 2-hour session, so I need to scrape the surface a little bit. There's a lot more to say about it, but I think it's important just to give you the headlines and really a little bit of a whistle-stop tour, if you like. Gut health is critical to our overall health and to our well-being, because the gut microbiome touches every single aspect of body and mind. It's not only when I work with businesses and organizations, also when private clients see me for the first time, it's almost always gut health, which is the first step to support somebody's health and well-being. No matter where you look and no matter what organ is involved, your gut plays a role. So there's lots of good reasons to look after it. I really like the analogy of comparing the gut microbiome with an open plan office with different teams and different jobs to do. So first of all, you've got the team that is responsible for your digestion. They check which foods are coming in and what to do with them in order to make sure that everything runs smoothly. Another team is extracting nutrients. They're working closely with the liver and with the digestion team just to make sure that your body can make the most of the nutrients you're giving it. Then we have immune system support. There, the gut works together with the red blood cells to keep you healthy and fight off nasty viruses and bacteria. And then there's metabolism. That's your muscle metabolism and how well your muscle and your body takes advantage of its energy, as well as your brain metabolism. So when it comes to focus and concentration, you wouldn't believe that your gut is actually involved. And then, of course, brain metabolism brings us nicely to what I call the comms team, because it's the communications, exchanging messages about health and inflammation between gut and brain. So we have 5 teams in this big office, and they're all super busy, and lots of guys, i.e. bacteria, are involved with very different job descriptions. So just like in an office, the teams in the gut microbiome need to work together in a coordinated and balanced way to maintain optimal function. If there is disruption in the gut microbiome, it can lead to health issues like inflammation of the gut. So we're looking at sufferers from IBS. And even if you only have generally a sensitive stomach, there is something to do with that. We're also looking at heart problems and even diabetes. But because the gut and the brain are in constant communication, sadly, the information about inflammation is transferred really quickly. So there's also a risk of mental health issues and also low stress resilience, for example, anxiety, even depression, which may not be something you would immediately link to gut health. So apart from all the things that are going on in our body, like metabolism, digestion, immune system, we're also looking at mental health issues that are very much linked to our gut. So if you would like to help your gut, you can do lots of things. Just when I came in and had a little chat with Nicola, we said at the beginning, on the one hand, it's slightly scary that whatever you do and whatever it affects your body, it will affect your gut. But on the good side, that means if you are looking after your gut, you have loads and loads of ways to do that, and you will support your entire body and your mind at the same time. So let's have a quick look. So first of all, we're looking at probiotics and prebiotics. The word is very similar, but we're talking about 2 very different things here. Research has found that probiotics and prebiotics can improve gut health and also reduce the symptoms of anxiety and depression. So that's a really interesting one. If you're feeling that your mood is low, it might simply be that the number of gut bacteria in your gut health are not quite up to speed. Probiotics are live bacteria. They can improve or even restore your gut flora. Basically, looking back at our analogy of the open plan office, you hire new team members to support the stress teams who need a few helpers. You probably know that from your work. If 2 or 3 people in your team are ill, all the others are even more stressed because they have to take over from the people who are off work at the moment. And it's exactly the same issue in your gut. You can add more variety to your gut bacteria by focusing on those probiotics. And that's the foods on the left-hand side of the slide. Probiotics you can get in food, but also as a supplement in tablet form. You can find probiotics in fermented foods. That would be plain natural yogurt, kefir, kombucha, which is fermented tea, kimchi, if you like the Asian foods, or sauerkraut, if somebody likes the German stuff. I'm not keen on it, I admit it, even though I am German. If you think this is a little bit of an acquired taste, you're not particularly keen on fermented foods and the slightly acidic taste, you can take probiotics as a supplement. Please stay away from the cool sections in your supermarket and those little yogurt drinks. I'm not mentioning any names because the science is still not quite clear if we're getting the bacteria actually past our stomach into the digestive system. So it might be that they're not working. We just simply don't know yet. And some of them are really high in sugar too, which is not quite the point. So either fermented foods or a good quality supplement will really help you popping up your gut bacteria. If you suffer from high blood pressure or any heart disease, please don't eat too much fermented foods because fermentation needs quite a lot of salt. So these foods not only taste a little bit salty and acidic, they contain quite a lot of salt. So this might be not right for you if you have high blood pressure. On the good side, there's a recent study that showed that a 3-week probiotic treatment can help restoring your microbiota and reduce levels of stress and anxiety, which is really fantastic news because it's literally the easiest thing to do, to have a few spoonfuls of yogurt or half a glass of kefir every day. So once you have topped up your gut bacteria, you can look to the right-hand side of this slide, and then you can feed your gut bacteria with prebiotics. Because the team members in our gut health office, they just want to be fed to be happy. They're pretty much like humans. If you bring biscuits at the end of the day, everybody's happy. Prebiotics are a little bit better than biscuits, I admit that. Prebiotics are types of fiber in food. And eating prebiotic foods is quite easy. There are lots of them and you can easily incorporate them into your diet. So on the right-hand side, you can see leeks, garlic, bananas, apples. Chia seeds are an interesting one. They're really good for your digestion generally because they swell up. Bear in mind that you should drink quite a lot of water when you're eating prebiotic foods because the fiber needs the water to do their jobs. Okay. Any questions so far about probiotics and prebiotics? Nicola, can you see anything?
Hi, Carola. Yes, we have a question from Victoria. She wants to know why cold potatoes are not hot.
Oh, yes. It's a really interesting one, and I agree with you, Victoria. It's not quite something where you automatically think about it. The starch changes when the potato cools down. So if you have ever tried eating a raw potato, which is not quite nice, but it's the fibers are very, very much linked together. When you cook the potato, it turns fluffy, and then the fibers are very much detached. And when they're pre-cooked, so when they're cooled down, then the fiber changes into what we call resistant starch. And this resistant starch is a really good prebiotic. So it's a wonderful excuse for a nice potato salad. Just be a little bit careful with this mayonnaise, please. If you fancy a recipe for a German potato salad, which is made not with mayonnaise, but with vinegar and oil, let me know. I'll send you the recipe.
I think that sounds like a good plan. We've also got a question from Louise. Do they work if you eat them together?
Absolutely. This would have been exactly my next point, because the interesting one is if you have probiotics and prebiotics in the same meal, then they turn into what we call symbiotics. And this is, in a good way, the double whammy for your gut health, because you have at the same time, you're increasing your gut bacteria and you feed them at the same time, which is literally the best thing there is for your gut health. So you can have, I don't know, a banana with some yogurt, or a grated apple with your kefir, or you add some asparagus, which I actually forgot on the prebiotic side. Asparagus goes really well with kimchi. It's a nice combination, and it's really good for your gut health. Okay.
Well, just one last little question,
yeah,
and then we'll move on, because otherwise we'll run out of time. Tess is asking, how do you cook dandelion greens? And just forage from anywhere is the question, I think.
Dandelion greens. So depending on your garden and depending on how many greens you have there, you can find them in your garden, and I wouldn't cook them at all. They're a really nice addition to your salad if you like. They're slightly bitter, so somewhere close to like rocket salad, a little bit peppery, and it's a nice addition to your salad. Just chop them with a knife and add them to your salad, and then you got your prebiotics in there. Okay, let's just move on, because we can support our gut even better when we add certain foods and nutrients to our diet. So first of all, variety is key. When I say on this slide here, that's 30 plants per week, recent studies suggest that this is a really good idea. And I think, oh my God, 30 plants? No, I'm going to make this. But we're not only looking at fruit and vegetables. Then it might be, depending on the time of year, a little bit tricky to get 30 in per week. But look at the list. There's grains like rice, quinoa, barley, if you like, herbs, nuts, seeds. So I think it's actually quite easy to get 30 plants into your diet. Just take breakfast as an example. You can easily squeeze a few plants in here. Use oats, a mix of chia seeds, flax seeds, sunflower, hemp seeds, a handful of almonds, the aforementioned grated apple or sliced banana. And you can also add, that's 8 plants already. If you add in some nutmeg or some cinnamon, you almost have a third of your 30. So it's definitely a lot easier than you think to get 30 plants per week into your daily foods. If you think about your usual diet and see if you can get 30 plants in, and as we say, we can get some herbs in, and that's probably easy. But they are important nutrients as well. Aha. The important ones are the omega-3 fatty acids, polyphenols, all other fibers, not only the prebiotic ones, and also magnesium. Let's go through them one by one. Omega-3 fatty acids is perfect brain food. They are big up on the list of brain foods. Absolutely critical for the development and function for the central nervous system. These fatty acids decrease inflammation in the body and obviously still in the brain. They restore bacterial balance and they strengthen our gut lining. Super important. Fatty fish is obviously great. Salmon, mackerel, sardines, for example. You may want to note that omega-3 is better absorbed when it comes from an animal source. So if you, for whatever reason, don't eat fish, simply because you don't like it, or you're vegetarian or vegan, you can have a little bit of omega-3 from chia seeds and from walnuts, but it's not as good. So depending on how your fish intake is, you may want to look at a supplement. Fiber, absolutely amazing stuff. I'm a massive fan of fiber. Clearly, it supports our digestion. We all know what happens when we're eating a food high in fiber. Some of them feed your friendly bacteria even better. And it's important to know that most people don't get enough fiber from their diet, because our Western diet has pretty much taken out fiber out of everything we have. When we're looking at bread, there's hardly any fiber in it. Whole grains are not really what's the word? We don't get a lot of whole grains in our diet. Fiber has also shown to prevent bowel cancer, and it helps your heart health too. So we've got lots of reasons to increase our fiber intake. You can find fiber in all fruit and vegetables, but also in pulses. So when we're looking at chickpeas, beans, lentils, all of those, whole grains, like I just said, and also in oats, nuts, and seeds. Handful of nuts every day, and you're pretty much there in terms of your fiber intake. Polyphenols, you may not have heard of them. They are antioxidants. We can find them also in plant foods, and they reduce inflammation in the body. They're also linked to cognitive function and to our mental well-being. So polyphenols are really important one. You can find them in loads and loads of foods. Apples and berries, for example, broccoli, tomatoes, olive oil, cinnamon, turmeric, and ginger. There's your excuse to make your nice own chili, not chili, Indian food. Come on, Carola, speak English. A curry tonight. That was the word I was looking for. Sorry, apologies. And if you follow the idea of 30 plants per week, you probably don't really need to care too much about polyphenols because you get them automatically. And last but not least, one of my favorites, magnesium. Is one of those all-rounders. Some people are actually lacking. Magnesium is one of the most important minerals for optimal health. It's involved in over 300 body functions. And one of them, you guessed it, is gut health. So you can find magnesium in almonds, in cashew nuts, in Brazils, if you like them, but also in pulses and in green leafy vegetables and avocados. So on the right-hand side, you can find a quick overview of the nutrients which are mentioned on the left-hand side. I think we're sending out this presentation afterwards. Yeah, Nicola is nodding, so you don't need to make notes. And if you want to know more about it and need more details, please just email me. We'll share my email address at the end. Okay, and there's a little summary. So here are the quick list of things you can do to support your gut and simultaneously increase your mental and physical health, which is always a good idea. Probiotics in fermented foods, prebiotics in apples, oats, leeks, garlic, fatty fish, and 30 plants per week. And if you drink enough water with it to make sure that the fiber can do its job beside your tea and coffee, please. Water is a good idea. Any unsweetened fruit or herbal tea is okay. Try and stay away from artificial sweeteners, please. That's a different topic. Happy to talk about it. But hydration is generally really important for your brain. And just remember, taking care of your gut is not only about your digestion. It's nurturing every core of your overall health and well-being. Remember, your gut is not just an organ. It's a thriving ecosystem, big office, that plays a really important role in how you think, feel, and live. If you help your gut, you're setting the foundation for a vibrant and energetic life. And I think there's lots of good reason to follow a few ideas how you can support your gut. Every small step you take towards improving your gut health is literally a leap towards a healthier and more resilient body and mind. Look at me, 1226. Yes. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Well done.
I promise I'll share my contact details with you so you can see the website, my email. If you are on LinkedIn, please feel free to connect with me. And at the bottom are the Inside Timer details, the wellbeing app, where you can listen to another free talks. I'll do probably one every 2 weeks about loads and loads of stuff. If you would like to know more about me, would like to book a full session and learn a little bit more about gut health or about anything else, please just contact me, and we help make your people a little bit more healthier. Thank you so much. Look at me, 12.
Well, being as you finished a little bit earlier, you've got a couple of little questions we might be able to sneak in just before we end.
Absolutely.
So everyone, I think there's quite a few after your potato salad, so you might want to stick that in when you drop everyone an email.
Okay,
Once
I'll make a note.
and then Anne's asking, are dried herbs as good as fresh herbs?
They are. Yes, they change ever so slightly depending on how long you keep them. But simply because fresh herbs, if you don't grow them yourself, they're so expensive. Dried herbs are good enough.
Lovely,
obviously,
thank you.
if you grow them yourself, it's brilliant.
Even better.
But not everybody can.
No, exactly. So it's good to know we can use dried as well. So, and David wants to know, would you recommend trying the Zoe test kit?
Oh, I would say no. It's a little bit of a tricky one. You shouldn't really talk badly about colleagues, colleagues, I should say. But I wouldn't, because they try to do a personalized approach, and I think they can't quite deliver that because people are so interested in what they're doing. I mean, they obviously hit a nerve, but there are better options, and probably at the same price point, because the sort of £300 or whatever they're charging is quite a lot. So if you find a nutrition expert in your area, it's probably easier and better to work with them.
Great advice. Thank you, Carola. So that seems to be all the questions I think we've got. Lots of thank you. Great session. Really insightful. So really enjoyed, and I've certainly picked up a few tips along the way. So I shall be giving that a go with my January health kick. How long it lasts.
Fantastic, Nicola. I just noticed, sorry, Nicola, can I have one more minute, please? Because I just realized that I didn't talk about the symptoms you may experience, which could give you an indication that you may want to look after your gut health. Because only one of them is really linked to digestion. So the first one is if you have really some unexplained tiredness or fatigue. I mean, obviously, if you don't sleep well, you know, okay, fine, I just got up too late, and but if it is unexplained, if you don't know what's going on, so that might be a sign for your gut. Obviously, digestive issues, including heartburn, are a sign. Skin problems and allergies can be linked to gut health in many cases. Constant sugar cravings. If you are the one who cannot resist a pack of Haribo, then probably look into your gut health. Sleep issues generally, where you know it's not about your stress, it's not about your menopause, you're just not sleeping well, this can be linked to gut health. And unintended weight gain or weight loss. Okay, that's it.
Perfect, thank you. I noticed myself in a few of them, I'm not going to lie. Lay off the Haribos is a lesson there. So,
that sounds a good one, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Have a lovely day, everybody, and get in touch if you need me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for joining, everyone. Bye.